My girlfriend lost her entire friend group, and I honestly think it broke her sense of self. I, 35M, have been with my girlfriend, 28F, for almost 2 years. Early on, she was very honest with me about her past, abusive relationships, trauma, abandonment issues, and the fact that she often felt like she was too much emotionally for other people. Despite that, one of the first things I noticed about her was how deeply caring and loyal she is. She is the kind of person who will show up at 2 a.m. if a friend needs help. Over time, I realized she had spent years emotionally supporting the people around her, often at the expense of herself. At the time we met, she was very close with a small friend group consisting of her best friend, Z, 26F, and a male friend she previously had a friends with benefits situation with, P, 27M. From what I understood, my girlfriend and Z had been best friends for years. They were extremely close and supported each other through mental health struggles, difficult relationships, and life in general. When Z's marriage started falling apart, my girlfriend was heavily involved in supporting her, letting her stay over, being available during emotional crises, and even waiting nearby during confrontations with Z's husband because there were concerns about his anger issues. Around the same time, my girlfriend had also been involved with P. From what she told me, it sounded like a complicated but consensual situation between two emotionally damaged people. P did not want a serious relationship because of his own relationship trauma. She accepted that and eventually started dating again. When we met, she was extremely transparent with me about everything, including her history with P before Z's divorce was finalized. The four of them had planned a vacation together. Z's husband no longer came, so instead P invited his best friend, X, 26M. According to my girlfriend, Z and X immediately became inseparable during the trip and spent most of the vacation focused entirely on each other. She was genuinely happy for them, but also felt hurt because her best friend suddenly seemed emotionally unavailable to her. At the same time, my girlfriend got physically sick during the trip. Meanwhile, P was apparently in a very bad mental state and frequently irritated with her. She described feeling like everything she said or did upset him. At one point, he even walked out of the house and disappeared in the middle of the night, leaving everyone worried. What stood out to me most was that while she was sick, emotionally overwhelmed, and clearly struggling, nobody really seemed emotionally present for her. She called me crying from the vacation house because she felt completely alone while everyone else seemed focused on each other. That was actually the moment our relationship became serious. She later told me that what impacted her most was not some grand romantic gesture, but simply that I listened to her calmly without yelling at her, blaming her, or making her feel guilty for being emotional. Honestly, it shocked me how unfamiliar basic emotional safety seemed to her. After that trip, things with the friend group got worse. P suddenly disappeared and cut contact with everyone. My girlfriend was devastated because she cared deeply about him and did not understand what happened. Months later, however, he reconnected with Z and X, but continued excluding her specifically. From there, she slowly became pushed out of the group. Z repeatedly canceled plans with her, sometimes while my girlfriend was literally already on her way to see her. Yet she always seemed available for X, and eventually P as well. The three of them started spending time together without inviting her. My girlfriend kept trying to understand what had happened. From my perspective, she was not trying to control anyone. She was panicking because she could feel people disappearing from her life without explanation. I think prolonged uncertainty and exclusion can become psychologically brutal for someone who already struggles with abandonment fears. The breaking point happened this summer. My girlfriend invited Z to go to an amusement park together. Z said she was too tired. The next day, Z sent her pictures from that exact amusement park. There with X later, my girlfriend also saw photos online of Z, X, and P all together at the amusement park, hugging and hanging out after months of excluding her. She completely broke down emotionally. She called Z crying and trying to understand what was going on. Shortly afterward, X messaged her accusing her of being toxic and claiming she had crossed boundaries with P. This completely blindsided her. Obviously, I only know the situation from my girlfriend's perspective, so I cannot claim to know what P privately feels or experienced. If he genuinely felt hurt or uncomfortable, those feelings matter. But from the outside, the way this entire situation was handled felt deeply unhealthy and avoidant. Instead of direct communication, it felt more like the group gradually distanced themselves from her without ever clearly explaining why. What I personally witnessed was a woman who spent years overextending herself for people who were not nearly as emotionally available to her in return. She is not perfect. She can become anxious, emotionally intense, and desperate for reassurance when she feels abandoned. But honestly, most of her reactions made sense to me considering the situation she was in. What hurts most now is watching someone slowly lose trust in their own perception of themselves because of how this entire situation unfolded. I have watched her question her own reality for months and wonder whether she is secretly just a terrible person without realizing it. Eventually, she cut contact with the entire group because the stress became too overwhelming mentally and physically. I know there are multiple sides to every story, and I am aware I only saw this situation from close to my girlfriend's perspective. But watching the emotional impact this entire situation had on her was honestly heartbreaking, and I still do not fully know what to make of it. Edit, a small update because I noticed some people assuming my girlfriend ignored P's mental health struggles or lacked empathy for him, and I do not think that is fair. During the vacation, when P disappeared, nobody abandoned him. They all spent hours trying to calm him down and support him. He eventually left while the others were asleep, and afterward they helped make sure professional help and therapy were available to him once everyone got home. Another important piece of context is that my girlfriend was already in therapy at the time because of previous abusive relationships and abandonment trauma. One thing she struggled with a lot was learning not to spiral or emotionally overreact when she felt rejected or insecure. From what I saw, she genuinely tried very hard to apply what she was learning in therapy throughout all of this. The difficult part was that when she tried communicating openly with Z and P about feeling hurt or confused, she was usually told nothing was wrong. So, from her perspective, things slowly became more distant and painful without any clear explanation. Ironically, both Z and P had witnessed firsthand how badly previous relationship losses affected her emotionally. They had seen her go through severe grief and trauma before, which I think is part of why this situation hit her so deeply. By the time things fully escalated between her and Z, her therapy had already ended because things initially seemed stable after P first disappeared from the group. Unfortunately, getting back into therapy here can take months because of waiting lists. She is doing better now overall. She is trying to make new friends, focusing more on hobbies and learning new skills, and she is back on a waiting list for therapy because she wants to continue working on herself and her emotional patterns, but it is still hard sometimes. She still has nightmares about the situation occasionally, and I think what hurts her most is not just losing the group, but losing someone she genuinely considered family for years.